The wind howled like a mourning mother across the endless dunes. Somewhere in the shifting expanse of gold and shadow, a lone rider pushed forward, cloak snapping behind him like a black flag of war. His name was Kael, and though he was barely 20 winters old, he carried more scars than men twice his age. Kael had never known his true parents. The only family he remembered was Elder Relief, a blind seer who had found him half buried in the sand as a child, wailing at the sun. Relief raised him in the hidden canyons beyond the blood dunes, training him with blades as sharp as the desert wind and teaching him the secret histories of the dune shadows. Tonight, the desert was restless. Kael knelt atop a dune, black scarf drawn over his nose, eyes narrowed against the stinging grains. Below, flickering torchlight danced. His clan gathered in the hollow for the rite of blades. A circle of warriors, each draped in flowing black, curved daggers strapped across their chests like silver ribs. He watched in silence as the warlord, Sahir, bellowed an oath to the rising moon. "We are the dune shadows, born of sand and steel. Tonight, we bleed to claim the veil." An ancient rumor whispered through the desert winds. Beneath these dunes lay a hidden power, a chamber called the Veil. Whoever unlocked it would bind the sands themselves to their will. Some believed it was a well of ancient spirits. Others said it was a weapon buried by the lost pharaohs. Kael felt the weight of prophecy pressing on hhis shoulders. Elder Ralph's voice echoed in his mind. "You are not bound to shadows, Kael. You are the blade that can cut them apart." Lightning flared in the clouds above. A sudden sandstorm rose, swallowing the moonlight. Kael stood frozen as shapes emerged from the swirling grit. Dozens of cloaked figures, faces hidden behind veils, weapons gleaming. Then, just as suddenly, they vanished, swept away by the storm's fury. Kael's heartbeat drummed like war drums. The desert was whispering, and it was calling him deeper. Dawn broke like fire on the dunes as Kael's caravan crept south. Flanked by his closest companions, Aaron, a sharp-eyed scout with twin curved knives strapped to his forearms, and Zara, a healer wrapped in layers of indigo cloth. Kael guided his steed through treacherous passes. Their mission was clear: retrieve an artifact hidden in the ruins of Merhet, an obsidian talisman said to be the key to unlocking the Veil Chamber. They spoke little as they crossed the vast emptiness. Words were precious in a land where the wind loved to steal them away. On the third night, they made camp by an ancient stone well, half buried and dry. Aaron returned from scouting, eyes darting. "We're being tracked, Shadow Riders 5. At least," Kael nodded, unhooking his blades, twin scimitars with wicked, jagged edges. "Then we don't wait." Before the stars were swallowed by clouds, they struck. The ambush was a dance of steel and sand. Figures in black veils lunged from the dunes, knives gleaming in starlight. Kael moved like the storm itself, blades spinning, parrying, striking. He cut down to riders in a single arc, spun to block a spear that whistled for his heart. Aaron vanished into the melee, reappearing behind enemies to slide a blade through exposed ribs. Zara, though a healer, fought with poisoned needles. Her attackers fell clutching their throats, gasping for air that would never come. Kael turned and froze. Standing beyond the chaos was a lone warrior, taller than the rest, face hidden by layers of black cloth. Their eyes locked. Something in that stare felt too familiar, like looking into a memory half buried by time. The masked figure raised a hand, then vanished into the dunes as the last rider fell. When silence returned, Kael's blood thundered in his ears. The desert was no longer just sand and wind. It was alive with secrets, watching him from beneath the dunes. The ruins of Merhet rose at dawn, jagged stone teeth jutting from the sands, half swallowed by drifting dunes. Kael and his companions entered through a broken archway, torches casting flickering shadows across ancient carvings. Inside, they found more than bones and dust. Beneath the main hall lay a hidden library, scrolls sealed in clay jars, slabs etched with languages older than any living tongue. Zara's fingers traced the markings. These speak of the Veil Chamber, a place where the first desert kings hid their sins and secrets. Aaron cracked a jar open. Inside was a fragment of obsidian, carved with a map. When placed against torchlight, lines appeared, a path winding deep beneath the dunes, leading to a cavern marked only by a symbol, the Eye of the Storm. Hope flickered in Kael's chest and was snuffed out just as quickly. He caught Aaron's hand reaching for the fragment. Too quick, too desperate, their eyes met. For the first time, Kael saw the truth behind his friend's steady grin. "You were sent to watch me," Kael said, voice like drawn steel. Aaron didn't deny it. He flicked a hidden blade from his wrist. "Nothing personal, Kael. The warlords want the veil, and they don't trust you to bring it back." Kael's scimitars were in his hands before the last word left Aaron's lips. The fight was swift, brutal. Old friends turned to shadows in a clash of steel. Aaron was fast, but Kael's rage made him faster. With the final blow, Aaron fell, whispering an apology that was lost in the echoing ruin. Zara stepped forward, eyes wet but unflinching. "Do we continue?" Kael looked at the map, at the dead, at the endless sands beyond the ruin's walls. "Yes," he said, "we finish this, or the desert will." For days they followed the map through storms that stripped skin raw and winds that howled like ghosts. At the foot of the ashen dunes, they found the entrance, a spiral staircase carved into the sand itself. Torchlight flickered on ancient stone as they descended. Carvings lined the walls, scenes of forgotten pharaohs blowing before a black sun. Zara whispered prayers to the old gods as their footsteps echoed in the silence. Deep within, the tunnel widened into a cavern so vast, it seemed to hold its own night sky. In the center rose a stone dais. Upon it, an obsidian obelisk, thrumming with power. Kael approached, hand trembling. Before his fingers could touch the surface, a voice sliced the darkness. "So, you found it first." Kael spun, blades ready. The masked warrior stepped into the torchlight, and Kael's heart stopped. The stranger ripped away the veil. A familiar face stared back, older, sharper, but unmistakable. "Rami?" Kael breathed. "Brother." Rami's smile was a scar across a once innocent face. "You thought me dead, abandoned in the dunes, but they took me." Kael raised me stronger. "Now I am the Shadow's Fang." Kael staggered back. "This power will destroy us," Rami laughed, echoing off stone walls, "or free us from endless war. Join me, we'll bind the clans, rule the sands, burn the old lies." Kael looked to Zara, who shook her head. No words needed. Steel rasped as the brothers drew their blades. The cavern filled with the music of ringing metal and splintering stone. Sparks flew. Kael parried Rami's furious strikes, each clash a memory of childhood games twisted by betrayal. In the end, Kael saw the boy he once knew and chose mercy. He shattered the obelisk with a final blow, sending cracks through the cavern floor. The veiled chamber began to collapse. Sand and stone roared in protest as Kael grabbed Rami's arm. "Come with me." But Rami pulled free, vanishing into the falling dark. Kael and Zara ran, the chamber collapsing behind them, burying the veil forever beneath the desert's wrath.